Belfast, 1973. Thomas McKenzie wires explosives in a basement workshop. His hands move with deadly precision across timing devices. The IRA trusts him completely. His wife Mary kisses him goodbye each morning, whispering, "Make them pay for what they've done to Ireland." But Thomas McKenzie isn't building bombs to kill people. He's building them to fail. And in exactly 14 years, 3 months and 17 days, his 5-year-old daughter will ask him one simple question that will force him to choose between saving 2,000 strangers or protecting the only family who ever truly loved him. What you're about to discover will shock you more than anything you've heard about the Troubles. This man saved 50,000 lives while everyone thought he was a terrorist. But the secret he's carrying will destroy 3 generations of his family. And the moment his cover gets blown will trigger the largest intelligence operation in Irish history. But here's what nobody could predict. The bomb Tom builds on December 22nd, 1987, contains a component that will kill him in exactly 13 minutes. Except something happens at minute 12 that changes everything. Before we reveal why Tom's final device had 2 different timers and what his daughter finds hidden in their Christmas tree, smash that subscribe button. Because this story has more twists than anything you've ever heard. November 23rd, 1973, Belfast city centre, 11:47 a.m. Over 800 civilians crowd the Saturday market. Thomas McKenzie's bomb should detonate in exactly 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, nothing. But here's what nobody knows. Tom McKenzie just prevented the first of 127 bombings he'll sabotage over the next 14 years. And the technique he used to disable this device contains a fatal flaw that will eventually expose him. Because every bomb Tom sabotages leaves behind microscopic evidence. Evidence that Michael Quinn, an engineering graduate, will discover in 1982. Evidence that will lead to the most brutal interrogation in IRA history. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, because the reason Tom was willing to risk everything starts with his sister, Catherine. And what Catherine tells him on March 15th, 1970, will haunt him until the day he dies. The timing mechanism in Tom's bomb includes a hairline break in the electrical circuit, invisible to inspection, positioned precisely to fail milliseconds before detonation. Tom has spent months perfecting this technique, creating bombs that look perfect but die at the crucial moment. "This operation will show the British we can strike anywhere," Quinn announces during the final briefing. Quinn trusts Tom completely. Silent Tom has never failed them, because Tom's failures look exactly like successes. Security finds the device 2 hours later. Tom reports equipment failure to his commanders. Temperature sensitivity, he explains. But Tom knows something his commanders don't. This is just the beginning. "That's why we need you, Tom," Quinn responds. "You understand these technical problems better than anyone." The perfect irony. Tom's sabotage is making him more valuable to the organization he's secretly destroying. But Quinn doesn't know that Tom has been meeting secretly with a British intelligence handler. And he definitely doesn't know about the insurance policy Tom has hidden in his workshop. An insurance policy that will save thousands of lives, but destroy his family forever. Because the real question isn't how many bombs Tom can sabotage. The real question is what happens when his 15-year-old daughter Sayabon discovers what her father really does for a living. The sister who started a war 1970. Tom McKenzie works Belfast shipyards, stays neutral in the growing conflict. Then his sister Catherine falls in love with a British soldier named David. But Catherine doesn't just fall in love. She discovers something about the British military operation in Belfast, something so dangerous that it will force Tom to make a choice between family and thousands of strangers he'll never meet. March 15th, 1970. Catherine arrives at Tom's house at 2 a.m. Terrified, bleeding from a cut on her forehead. "They're going to kill me, Tommy," she whispers. "I know something I shouldn't know." Catherine tells Tom about classified documents she saw in David's apartment. Military plans for crowd control operations. Rules of engagement that will lead to civilian casualties. Information that could save lives if it reaches the right people. But the IRA has already declared Catherine a traitor for dating a British soldier. The family has disowned her. If Tom helps her, he becomes a traitor too. What am I supposed to do? Catherine asks. Let innocent people die or destroy our entire family? Tom stares at his sister. Outside, sirens wail. Another bombing, another family destroyed. I'll help you get out of Belfast, Tom decides. But after that, we can never see each other again. Tom drives Catherine to the train station, gives her money, tells her to disappear forever. But Tom doesn't know that someone is watching them. Someone who will use this information to recruit Tom for the most dangerous assignment in intelligence history. 3 months later, Tom sits alone in a dim pub when a well-dressed stranger approaches. We know about Catherine, the stranger says quietly. We also know she gave you information that saved 47 lives in the Ardoyne massacre. Tom freezes. He never told anyone about Catherine's intelligence. How does this man know? That makes you very interesting to certain people, the stranger continues, people who think this war has gone on long enough. The stranger introduces himself as David Harrison, MI5, but Harrison doesn't tell Tom the complete truth. He doesn't mention that Catherine didn't just escape to England. She's been recruited as a British intelligence asset, and the information she's providing is helping prevent attacks across Northern Ireland. What exactly are you asking me to do? Tom demands. Join them, really join them, become their most trusted bomb maker, then make sure their devices never work. Tom stares across the pub. How many lives could I save? Conservative estimate, thousands. Maybe tens of thousands, if you're good enough to survive. Tom makes the decision that will define the next 17 years, but he doesn't know that this decision will eventually force him to choose between his own daughter's life and 2,000 strangers. Because what Tom doesn't realize is that his handler, David Harrison, has a secret connection to his family, a connection that will only be revealed when Tom's cover is blown in 1987. Where heroes are made. Tom transforms himself over 18 months, attends IRA meetings, volunteers for dangerous assignments. His electrical background makes him perfect for technical work. By 1973, Tom has established himself as the IRA's most reliable bomb maker, but every device he creates includes fatal flaws designed to save lives. The mathematics are terrifying. Too obvious, and his comrades will notice. Too successful, and innocent people die. Tom's workshop beneath a Falls Road butcher shop becomes legendary. But the IRA members don't know that this workshop contains something that will eventually destroy them all. Hidden behind a false wall, Tom keeps detailed records of every sabotaged operation. Dates, targets, techniques used, evidence that proves he's been working for British intelligence. Tom knows this evidence will probably get him killed someday. But he also knows it might be the only way to prove his heroism to his family after his death. Because Tom has already accepted that he won't survive this assignment. The question isn't whether he'll be discovered. The question is how much damage he can prevent before that happens. But Tom doesn't know that his handler, David Harrison, has been lying to him from the beginning. Harrison isn't just his controller. Harrison has a personal connection to Tom's family that goes back 3 generations, and when Tom's cover is blown in 1987, this connection will save his life in a way he never expected. Tom meets quarterly with Harrison, different locations each time. Car parks, Protestant churches, abandoned farms outside Belfast. The operations are getting bigger, Harrison warns during a February 1974 meeting. Multiple targets, coordinated attacks across 3 cities. I can handle it, Tom responds. Can you? Because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. The IRA isn't just planning random attacks anymore. They're planning something specific, something that will kill more people than every operation combined. Harrison slides a photograph across the table. It shows a massive Christmas market, thousands of families with children. Manchester, December 23rd, 1987. They're planning this attack 13 years in advance. And they want you to build the device. Tom stares at the photograph. Children laughing, families shopping, completely unaware that in 13 years they'll become targets. How do you know about this? Because your sister Catherine discovered the preliminary planning documents. The attack is connected to something much bigger, something that involves your own family. Harrison pauses. Tom, there's something about your family history I haven't told you, something that explains why you were really recruited. But before Harrison can explain, sirens approach. Their meeting ends abruptly. And Tom won't learn the truth about his family for another 13 years, because the secret Harrison is keeping will only be revealed when Tom faces his final choice in 1987. The summer that almost ended everything, 1976. The IRA plans 15 coordinated bombings across Belfast, London and Birmingham. Tom works 18-hour days creating devices he knows he'll sabotage. But Tom doesn't know that one of these operations will expose him. Because hidden among the 15 targets is a trap. British intelligence has set up a fake operation to test Tom's loyalty. If he sabotages this device, they'll know he's working for them. The psychological strain shows. Mary notices Tom's weight loss, his insomnia, his tendency to stare into space during dinner. "You're working too hard," she tells him. "The cause is important, but your health matters too." Tom forces a smile. If only Mary knew what he was really sacrificing his health for. But Mary is starting to suspect something. Tom's behavior has changed. He's distracted, secretive. And yesterday, she found something hidden in his workshop that doesn't belong there. A photograph of their family. But it's not a normal family photo. Someone has drawn red X marks through Tom's face and written on the back, "We know what you are." Mary hasn't told Tom about the photograph yet. She's trying to understand what it means. But the photograph isn't from the IRA. It's from someone else entirely. Someone who's been watching Tom's family for months. The summer campaign launches July 4th, 1976. 15 operations across 3 cities. Tom sabotages 14 devices successfully. But the 15th device is the trap. And Tom doesn't know it's a trap until it's too late. The device explodes exactly as designed. No one is killed because the target building is empty. But the explosion sends a message to British intelligence. Tom McKenzie is loyal to the IRA. Except Tom didn't build that device. Someone else did. Someone who's been impersonating Tom's work. And when Tom realizes what happened, he understands that his cover isn't just blown. Someone is actively trying to destroy him. But Tom doesn't know who, and he doesn't know why. The answer will only come 11 years later, when his daughter Sabotaged asks him a question that reveals everything. The investigation that changed the game. 1977. Michael Quinn brings engineering expertise and suspicious minds to the IRA. Quinn studies 17 failed operations from the past 3 years. Someone is either incompetent beyond belief, Quinn announces, or deliberately sabotaging our operations. Tom sits in the meeting, forcing his expression to remain neutral. But Tom knows something Quinn doesn't. The real saboteur isn't him. "I want to help with this investigation," Tom volunteers. "If someone's undermining our work, we need to find them." Quinn stares at Tom for a long moment. "That would be valuable, Tom. You understand the technical aspects better than anyone." For the next month, Tom investigates his own sabotage, but he also discovers something else. Evidence that someone has been modifying his bombs after he builds them. Someone with access to his workshop. Someone who knows his techniques. Someone who's been making his sabotage more obvious. Tom realizes he's been set up, but by whom and why? The investigation concludes that British intelligence leaks, not internal sabotage, are responsible for operational failures. Tom's position is secure. But Quinn isn't satisfied. He assigns Tom a test. Build a device for a fake operation. See if it gets compromised. Tom builds the device knowing it's a test. Makes it perfect. No sabotage. The device works flawlessly. Quinn is satisfied. But Tom doesn't know that Quinn recorded everything. Every technique Tom used, every component he selected, and when Quinn compares this recording to Tom's previous work, he'll discover something that will destroy Tom's cover forever. Because buried in Tom's supposedly perfect device is a microscopic flaw, a flaw so subtle that only an expert would notice it. A flaw that proves Tom has been sabotaging operations all along. But Quinn won't discover this flaw until 1987. And when he does, it will trigger a chain of events that saves more lives than all of Tom's previous sabotage combined. The daughter who discovered everything, 1985. 15-year-old Sabotaged starts dating Brian Murphy. Brian's older brother Patrick is active in the IRA. But Sabotaged doesn't just start dating Brian. She starts asking questions about her father's work. Questions that make Tom realize his daughter is too smart for her own good. "Dad, why do your bombs sometimes not work?" Siobhan asks during dinner one evening. Tom freezes. What do you mean, sweetheart? Brian's brother says you're the best bomb maker in Belfast, but Mrs. O'Malley says 3 of your devices failed last month. How is that possible? Tom looks across the table at Mary. His wife is staring at him with a new expression. Suspicion. Sometimes the electronics don't respond properly to temperature changes, Tom explains carefully. It's a known issue with complex devices. But Siobhan isn't satisfied. Brian's brother says you could fix that problem easily, says you're smart enough to solve any technical issue, so why don't you? Tom realizes his daughter is too intelligent to accept simple explanations, and her questions are making Mary suspicious too. That night, Tom finds Siobhan in his workshop. She's examining one of his devices. Siobhan, what are you doing? Learning, she responds. I want to understand your work. Tom stares at his daughter. She's holding a timer mechanism, the same type of mechanism he's been sabotaging for 12 years. This circuit is broken, Siobhan observes. Right here. See, if you fix this one connection, the device would work perfectly. Tom's blood freezes. His 15-year-old daughter has just identified his sabotage technique. Sometimes breaks happen during transport, Tom says carefully. But this break is too clean, Siobhan continues. Too precise. It looks deliberate. Tom realizes his daughter has inherited his analytical mind, and she's starting to understand what her father really does. Siobhan, there are some things about my work you're too young to understand. I'm not too young to understand why you're sabotaging your own bombs, Dad. The words hang in the air between them. Tom stares at his daughter. She knows. How long have you known? 6 months, Siobhan admits. I've been watching you work, studying your techniques. I know you're not building real bombs. You're building devices designed to fail. Tom sits down heavily. His 15-year-old daughter has discovered his most dangerous secret. Are you going to tell anyone? That depends, Siobhan responds. Are you going to tell me why? Tom looks at his daughter. She's too smart to lie to, too observant to fool, and too stubborn to intimidate. So Tom tells her everything. About Catherine, about David Harrison, about the 127 operations he's sabotaged, about the thousands of lives he's saved. Siobhan listens without interrupting. When Tom finishes, she's quiet for a long time. Does Mum know? No, and she can never know. It would destroy her. What about Patrick? He's too young, maybe someday when he's older. Siobhan nods. So it's just us. Just us. But Tom doesn't know that Siobhan has already made a decision that will save his life when his cover is blown in 1987, because Siobhan has been keeping her own secret, a secret about what she found hidden in their Christmas tree last December. The Christmas market that never exploded, December 1987. The IRA plans their most ambitious attack yet, Manchester Christmas market, peak shopping season. Intelligence estimates 2,000 people in the target area. This operation will change everything, Quinn explains. The British will finally understand we can reach anyone, anywhere. Tom listens to casualty estimates, escape routes, media impact calculations. This isn't terrorism. It's calculated mass murder. Quinn assigns Tom to create the device. Something sophisticated enough to bypass enhanced security, powerful enough to level the entire market area. For the first time in 14 years, Tom faces an impossible choice. The security around this operation is too tight for normal sabotage, but Tom has a plan so dangerous it will almost certainly cost him his life. Tom designs the most sophisticated device of his career, 2 timing mechanisms, the primary timer set for 2 p.m. December 23rd, the secondary timer set for 6 a.m. the same morning. The secondary device will explode in Tom's workshop, kill him, but reveal evidence of the Manchester plot, forcing its cancellation. December 22nd, 11:30 p.m. Tom enters his workshop for what he believes is the last time. But Tom doesn't know that Siobhan has been watching him. She's figured out his plan, and she's decided to stop him. Because Siobhan found something hidden in their Christmas tree 3 weeks ago. Something that changes everything Tom believes about his mission. At 5:47 a.m., 13 minutes before Tom's planned death, his workshop door opens. But it's not Siobhan who enters. It's Michael Quinn with 2 armed men. 14 years, Quinn says quietly. 14 bloody years. Quinn has discovered Tom's sabotage technique, The microscopic flaws, the deliberate failures, everything. The device failures, the security leaks, the operations that never worked. It was you. Tom tries one final deception. I don't know what you're talking about, Michael. Don't lie to me, Tom. I've been analysing your work for months. Every device you built, every component you used, you've been sabotaging us from the beginning. Quinn draws a pistol. You're going to tell us everything. Handler contacts, other agents, the full extent of British infiltration. Tom realises his carefully planned death has become something worse. Interrogation, torture, exposure of the entire network. My family doesn't know anything. Your family are traitors by blood, Quinn responds, unless you give us what we want. But Quinn doesn't know that Siobhan is listening from the next room. She's heard everything, and she's about to make a choice that will save her father's life. Because what Siobhan found in their Christmas tree wasn't a present. It was a message that reveals the truth about Tom's real mission. The truth that saved everything. Tom provides partial information to Quinn. Old safe houses, former contacts, nothing that will get current agents killed. But he also activates an emergency protocol, a coded signal that alerts MI5 to abort ongoing operations and extract deep cover agents. Tom's capture triggers the largest intelligence evacuation in Irish history. Dozens of operations abandoned, multiple agents extracted. The Manchester bombing is cancelled, not because of Tom's sabotage, because Quinn's investigation reveals that British intelligence has penetrated the IRA completely. You think this is about betraying Ireland, Tom tells Quinn. It's about saving it. Peace? Quinn laughs. You've destroyed any chance of peace. Maybe that's what peace requires. Maybe people have to get tired of not trusting each other. But Tom's sacrifice isn't finished yet, because Siobhan bursts into the workshop carrying the message she found in their Christmas tree. Dad, you need to see this, she says, ignoring Quinn's gun. The message is from David Harrison. But it's not addressed to Tom. It's addressed to Siobhan. Your father doesn't know this, the message reads, but you are the daughter of the most important intelligence asset in British history. When his cover is blown, show him this letter. It will save his life. The letter explains everything. Tom wasn't just a saboteur. He was part of a larger operation involving dozens of agents. Catherine didn't escape to England. She became a crucial intelligence coordinator. And Siobhan herself has been under protection her entire life. Watched, guarded, prepared for the moment when her father's mission would be revealed. The operation isn't over, Harrison's letter continues. It's just beginning. Because everything Tom prevented was preparation for something bigger, something that will end this conflict forever. Quinn stares at the letter, then at Siobhan, then at Tom. This doesn't make sense, Quinn says. If this is real, then we've been fighting the wrong war, Tom finishes. The real war isn't between Republicans and Loyalists. It's between people who want peace and people who profit from conflict. Harrison's letter reveals that the Christmas market attack was never meant to succeed. It was designed to expose the true enemies of peace on both sides, people who've been manipulating the conflict for their own purposes, people who will do anything to prevent Northern Ireland from finding peace. The Manchester operation was the trap that would expose them all. The network that changed history. Tom survives his interrogation because Quinn realises the truth. The real enemy isn't British intelligence. The real enemy is a network of profiteers on both sides who've been prolonging the conflict. Arms dealers, criminal organisations, political extremists who benefit from perpetual war. Tom's 14 years of sabotage wasn't just about preventing individual attacks. It was about gathering evidence against this network. Every operation Tom prevented was connected to these profiteers. Every device he sabotaged was part of their plan to escalate the conflict beyond any possibility of peace. The records Tom kept hidden in his workshop become crucial evidence, proof of a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of both Republican and Loyalist organisations. But the most important evidence comes from Siobhan, because what she found in their Christmas tree wasn't just a letter from Harrison. It was a complete database of the conspiracy. Names, financial records, communication intercepts, everything needed to destroy the network forever. How long have you known? Tom asks his daughter. 3 years, Siobhan admits. Harrison recruited me when I was 12, taught me to recognize the signs, to gather evidence, to prepare for this moment. Tom stares at his daughter. His little girl has been a British intelligence asset longer than he has. "I'm sorry, Dad. I wanted to tell you, but Harrison said it was the only way to protect our family." The revelation explains everything. Why Siobhan was so intelligent, why she asked such pointed questions, why she was able to identify Tom's sabotage techniques. She wasn't just observing her father's work, she was analysing it for British intelligence. But Siobhan's mission isn't finished yet, because the network Tom helped expose has one final operation planned. An operation that will determine whether Northern Ireland finds peace or descends into total war. The choice that ended a war 1988. The evidence Tom and Siobhan gathered triggers the largest counterintelligence operation in British history. Arrests across both Republican and Loyalist organisations. The profiteer network collapses. But Tom doesn't live to see the results. He dies during Quinn's interrogation in March 1988, 3 months after his capture, having revealed nothing that compromised other agents. Siobhan continues her father's work, uses her position in the peace movement to identify remaining network operatives, helps prevent the final escalation they've planned. The Good Friday Agreement in 1998 succeeds partly because the people who would have sabotaged it are already in prison. Tom's family never learns the complete truth. Mary raises Patrick, believing Tom died a hero's death, but she never knows the full extent of his sacrifice. Patrick grows up to become a social worker in integrated communities, living proof that Tom's influence shaped his family toward peace. In 2007, construction workers discover Tom's hidden records. The full scope of his operation is finally revealed. 127 prevented bombings, 47 sabotaged weapons shipments, estimated lives saved, over 50,000. But the most important statistic isn't in any official record. It's visible in modern Northern Ireland, a place where children play together regardless of religion, where former enemies work together in government, where peace has lasted longer than the war. Mary McKenzie, now 63, learns her husband was a hero, but she declines public recognition. "He spent his life being someone he wasn't," Mary explains. "Let him rest as someone he was." But Tom's greatest legacy isn't official recognition. It's his daughter Siobhan, who continues his work in the peace movement, and his son Patrick, who builds bridges between communities. The bombs Tom prevented created space for voices calling for peace. The deaths he stopped removed excuses for escalation. The network he helped expose can never profit from conflict again. Tom McKenzie saved 50,000 lives by ensuring that violence remained contained within limits that allowed for eventual peace. But the most important life he saved was his daughter's future, because Siobhan's work in the peace movement will prevent conflicts that haven't even started yet. Sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones whose victories can never be celebrated, whose sacrifices can never be acknowledged, whose names will never appear on monuments. But their silence makes possible a world where other voices can finally speak. And sometimes, the most important question isn't how many lives one person can save, it's how many generations of peace one sacrifice can create. Because Tom McKenzie's story didn't end when he died. It continues every day in Northern Ireland, in the children who grow up without learning to hate, in the former enemies who work together, in the peace that has lasted longer than the war. The silence that gave him his nickname became his greatest weapon, the quiet prevention of noise, the secret creation of space where different voices could eventually be heard. At Untold Legends Stories, we bring you the hidden heroes whose impossible choices shaped the world we live in today. Stories of courage that can never be fully celebrated, sacrifices that can never be completely understood, victories measured only by the disasters they prevented. If Tom McKenzie's story affected you as much as it affected us, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We upload incredible stories of hidden heroism every single day. Tomorrow's story will shock you just as much as this one did. Drop a comment. Do you think Tom made the right choice? Would you sacrifice everything to save strangers who would never know your name? And what do you think Siobhan should have done when she discovered her father's secret? In a world where the most important victories happen in silence, these stories remind us that real courage sometimes means becoming everything you oppose to protect everything you love.